So that was one of the things that we did with Charlie was like this summer, because I know you might have, you never really said it to me, but you might have said like, because I told you we're boxing every Saturday. He needs that. So I think we did talk about it. Let's just make sure it's not a like, total conditioning thing, right? Of course,
Right.
I'd rather just
Yeah,
throw
what are you
bombs.
there for?
But
right?
now we both know that if you go to a boxing gym, it's not just you're going to stand there and do grabs or make sure that you can throw a punch. So we know that there's going to be an element of box conditioning in there. So, but so we know, okay, we can adjust for that.
Exactly.
So now
Exactly.
that, and then we're going to do our sprints on Saturday as well. So, but I added that in because I knew for my son, I would say this for most people, but I know for my son with the style of play he plays that he needs that.
Yep.
He needs to know how to. He's going to drop the gloves every now and then, and he needs to know how to do that. So it's critical.
Right.
So I didn't say I need to go to a power skating coach.
Right.
And bag
Well,
yourself.
and sorry, let me cut you off for a second.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't want to disrupt
it's all
your
good.
train of thought, but and then just a side note, like as a trainer too, because I'm on Charlie's team, like I'm on Seabass's team. All my guys, like my core guys that are always here, like you said, I want nothing but the best for these guys.
Absolutely.
So if you need to go to Border City Boxing Club because that's part of of your game that you want to develop, it's up to me as your trainer not to say, poopy pants, you can't do that. You should only be with me and nobody else ever because I know everything and nobody else can be helpful to you except me. It's okay, I can't offer you that. So you need to go do that. And I need to adjust my plan now to fit that into the frame, as you said, right?
Exactly.
It's not me as the trainer saying, well, no, you shouldn't do that. You should only stay here, and put the handcuffs on you and make you feel guilty about trying to do something else.
Yeah, get your ego in the way and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
when it was like another one, like I remember Seabass went in and met with a nutritionist from Montreal, and I don't know if he felt like this or not. I'm not projecting onto him. I'm just saying one thing he could have felt was maybe a little bit nervous to tell me that he was going to do that because I'm the one making his meal plan, right? So as somebody, if I got too much ego as the trainer and he tells me I'm going to meet with this nutritionist from Montreal and I say, whoa, what are you doing that for? Like what? But instead I said, that's great. Bring my meal plan. Like have her tear it apart. If there's a problem, like we need to know so that we can fix it. I would love to get the input on that. And I think definitely, whether he was nervous to tell me or not, I put him at ease about doing that because now he knows that I know what's happening. Now our plans can come together instead of I give you this nutrition thing, you also have this information and they don't know about each other. So now we could have conflict because we're not communicating, So I just wanted to interrupt with that piece too, because people don't think about that either. It has to work together. Things need to work together. That's a really important point that you made.
Yeah, well, and it has to work together. And it's like, so when we discuss the boxing, and then we also, like Charlie works here too.
Mm-hmm.
So we also understand that it's not optimal for him to be on the ice all day, right? That's not optimal. But he has to make a living too because he's got to pay for some stuff when he moves away. And I need my son to work, and so he could work here, could work on a farm, he could work in a factory or do lawns and all that stuff. But this happens to be the best place for anybody in the world could work. No, but he grew up here, and it's like he is PowerTech, right? Mm-hmm. So now we got to take into consideration that he's also on the ice, not just working, but demoing drills and doing extra stuff. So now at the end of the day, Seabass too. Yeah. At the end of the day, they're not only working out for an hour and a half, they're also on the ice for an hour and a half, 3 times a week. And they're on the ice working for another 4 hours on the ice. So now we take all that in consideration. And we're going to go boxing on Saturday too, every weekend. And he's going to spend some time with my brother doing jiu-jitsu stuff. Holy, like, okay, so how do we adjust? Well, that might mean, I'm not saying this is not the prescription, but what we look at, or you look at, is saying, okay, so there's cardio, there's that steady state cardio that's taking place for 4 hours instead of maybe 30 minutes or whatever. So maybe some conditioning doesn't need to happen on the bikes or the running or whatever. So we can compensate with that. Also, with all that stuff, your 3,500 calories that I want you to eat every day, that doesn't work anymore. Right. So we can tweak that and say, now you need to have 4,500 or 5,000 calories based on the goals that we have. And maybe you have to offset some speed somewhere or whatever. And your recovery, you have to sleep, dude. You have to sleep, and
Have
I
to.
want to see your recovery. And you know what? It works out. It's
Yep.
fine. It's
Yep.
fine, but as long as everyone knows. But the problem is that if you don't tell you that, if I just say he's boxing and I don't want, because let's say you say, well, you can't be spending that much time on beating your body up. And then you're sitting there going, why is your recovery so low? Like, what are you doing? And now you're trying to fix, you're trying to fix something that's not there.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
You're thinking it's a heart, but it's actually, no, it's the kidneys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, that's exactly right, man. And this is where people start to run into problems. So because not everything is known, and again, this is all given that you have someone you trust and a trainer that actually thinks this way, which most people actually don't. So this is like the first step is you need to find someone you trust that actually has a thought out plan for you for the summer that makes sense, which a lot of people have a hard time finding. So I'm taking that as a given with everything that we're saying. But this is what people, and I can't tell you, even with just the short time that I've been doing this as a full-time job, how much I see this guy's running here, this guy's running there, this guy's running here. It's like you're going to skate with us twice a week and him 3 times a week and work out here twice a week and go there twice a week. And then you're doing this, this, and this. And then you show up here, but I don't know about any of that other stuff. So in the time where it's June and it's like, okay, we can really focus on strength. You already skated twice today. It's like, okay, why do you come in here and you see no progress? It's like, well, you're not sticking to the plan. You're not sticking to your meal plan. You're not sticking to your workout plan, and you're not sticking to your skating plan. Instead, you're doing everything and in effect accomplishing not much. And this is where you start to stagnate in your development, and that starts to happen when you get 14, 15, 16, 17, because you no longer get the baby gains of just reps. It's not just reps that make you better anymore. Now it has to be focused attention on certain things that you need as an individual. And if you're not doing that, if you're not getting that, then everything is for nothing. You feel like you're doing everything, yet you're accomplishing nothing because everything is now competing instead of working in harmony. And that's what the goal should be. If you have a plan, an off-season plan or an off-season program, and people use those kinds of terms, like what program should I follow? It's like, okay, what does a program actually mean? And that's where I find a lot of the issues that are happening with some of these kids. Like they just feel like they have to do everything all the time, and they're not having that line of communication between systems where everything can be accounted for. And that's why you see last week, like I made adjustments with a bunch of guys, not just Charlie, but a bunch of the kids coming in. It's like they're bagged. It's like, okay, like you're done for the day. Like that's it, you're done. I had another kid on yesterday say, hey, like does it matter if I can just come in? I feel like I need a day off. Like, can I just come in and like roll out and stretch out? Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, like perfect. Like, that's what I want. I want you to tell me when you're done. I want you to tell me when you're bagged. I want to know if you feel like shit, because then we can make an adjustment and still be making progress, because a recovery day is progress. It's not a step back. If you miss your hinge day because you're so gassed and you recover, that's not actually a problem.
Yeah.
It's one day.
So Charles Poliquin used a quote all the time. He says, sometimes the dummies approach, like, so say, whatever, for the books for dummies.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so sometimes the dummies approach is just dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So as you were talking about this, I think I wanted to just maybe give another example, maybe, because a lot of people might say, well, I don't understand what you're saying. So maybe a simplified version of that is just someone, because everybody, I think most people have tried to get in shape at some point of their life. I would say most, and people go to a gym and and what does that plan look like? Right. So what I find a lot of the times is people will go to a gym and, like, if you don't know what you want, it's like the old, what road is a fork in the road? What roads do I take? Well, where do you want to go? Right. So if you're going to work out and you say you're in your mind, you want to get bigger or more muscular, like thicker as an adult or whatever. Okay, fine. But there's a way to do that. There's an absolute way to do that. And that's like doing hypertrophy work and diet, right? But what'll happen is it's the all or nothing approach and they want to do more. So if you do a prescription of, like, let's say a bodybuilding prescription, and you start getting, you might get stronger, whatever. But if you mix all kinds of training up,
Right.
like if you want to do CrossFit and a hypertrophy workout and go for a long run, then that's not going to work, right? That's that dummy's approach. It's
Yeah.
dumb. So you have to stick to a plan for a period of time, like so if you want to get bigger, a hypertrophy plan for maybe 6 weeks. And then it might even bore you, but that's what you want. This is what you have to do. And some of it's resting.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's people want more or they want it faster. So I remember I've been my girlfriend, not to get personal about my girlfriend, but she talks about what her plan is at the gym with me quite a bit. And we always have, I don't know if she, like, talking with me is the first time she's heard about this kind of thing. Like, what specifically are we trying to do? But we always bring it back to that when we're talking. It's like she'll say, okay, this is what I'm thinking for my workout. Like, this is what I want to do, whatever. And it'll always come back to every like 4 weeks or every 2 months or whatever it is where she changes up kind of what the goal is. It's like, okay, we need to remember what the goal is. Like, which thing do you want? Do you want to get bigger? Well, if you want to get bigger, you're not going to be your leanest, right? You can't. And if you want to get bigger, you actually have to eat way more than you eat. You can't try to get bigger and not eat, and you can't try to get leaner and eat so much, right? So it's like you have to have it very, very specifically defined in your head what you want. We say this all the time. The intention is everything. The actual goal is everything, and you can't do everything at once because those things are going to compete with each other. You want to get bigger, but you also want to be ripped. It's like, okay, but you have to be willing to not be so lean for a period of time to get bigger. That's just what is going to happen. That's how the body works. And that's a good example with the fitness. That's probably the easiest example that you can give.